to the handover of this magnificent vehicle. I'm going to give you a quick briefing as to how it all started. It's nearly 2.5 years ago. Sean came to me with this harebrained scheme of wanting another vehicle for the emergency volunteers. We've now managed to raise all the monies to purchase this and equip it. So, at this point, I really want to say thank you to Musa and the Nullspan Foundation. Thank you very, very much for your kind donation. To Davin and his organisation for another donation. And to Michael for my Suzu trucks, who without these guys, this would not have been possible. And of course, to Newlands Rotary, because without your support to me, it wouldn't have happened either.
Folks, my name is Davin Chand. I'm with this organisation called Emergency Assistance Volunteer Support. And in the early days, as Colin said, when we were introduced and started working together, we started looking at what this thing would actually be. An important part of why this came about is because we spent a lot of time with volunteers. I've been involved together with Sean and others for many years, actually since 2000, in the disaster management volunteer call for this area. And we started looking at what the gaps are, what happens out in the field, what issues are happening day to day, week to week, year by year, where we seem not to be covered. If anything goes wrong in one of the, or two of these routes coming through to us, we have a serious problem. We literally have to start thinking about being self-contained, self-reliant, and that has been a key driver behind the concept that we shared with Colin to say, whatever we do, whatever comes about, we really need to make sure that in the south we're fairly well protected. That if for some or other reason services don't come from the north, we can start doing things for ourselves while we wait for them to arrive. And that was the principle that we agreed on. Let's see what we can develop that can meet that goal. Through a fairly lengthy process of consultation, I remember we've talked to folk in the council. At the time we talked to Nikki Holderness, who had concerns about train derailments. We had the experience with the wildfires. We had issues around civil unrest. All the experience that I think Marty and your team had at the time from the xenophobia issues, to people saying to us, what happens if there's a large incident with a ship or a plane in our area? Can we have enough equipment, people, etc. to deal with the issues in this neck of the woods? And that started informing our thinking. Are we equipped for any eventuality in our part of the world? And slowly the concept started being formulated, and then we started looking for, well, could we find the right kind of vehicle? We looked through all sorts of vehicles and we looked at the budget. So we went through a whole process, and through that I got introduced to the guys at Isuzu. What do you really need? And through the ongoing discussions with them, we worked through the process where they said, no, we think the kind of vehicle we got for you guys is ideal for what you need. And so it was great to have Isuzu on board, helping us shape the discussions. They weren't just prepared to sell us the vehicle, they came to the party, gave us a very good discount. So thanks very much from our side, particularly from the It wasn't a passive partnership, it's an active partnership where they said, sit down around the table. Remember the day Colin dialed in for the first call, and we literally worked through what is it that we need. All the service providers that have come to the party, and they said, we support you 100%. Even to a point where yesterday when we took for the vehicle for a wash, the guys down at the local BP said, no, you guys don't pay for stuff like this. We'll pay for your washes. Whenever you need this vehicle to be washed, you're here, we're on board. You're local, you're helping. Even to the design of the equipment, the guys with the cutting equipment on the other side said to us, guys, with a vehicle like this, listening to what Isuzu says, save space. Don't have a heavy beast on the road. You need to go awkward places. Don't go with an extra generator. We've got new cutting equipment. We'll give you a 50% discount on the cutting equipment if you use new generation cutting equipment. And that's what we've done. It's battery operated. Take it off. We don't have to lump heavy equipment with us, and off we go. So you need to work with community volunteers, and you need to be able to help those communities look after themselves. So an essential part of this, and having listened to Rob's advice, you have a pump on the vehicle with 1,000 litres. On the other side you've got a portable pump with enough hose. The intention being that you would drop that hose, standpipe key, leave it to protect one area, take your vehicle, move on to another area, and there's a third lot of equipment that we could drop with another team. And we saw this at the Komiki fires, where we left somebody with a portable pump, a lot of hose, and they protected 4 or 5 houses while we moved on to do other work. And it's that principle behind this is, can you cover as many hotspots, if you can call it, as many incidents as possible, with as many community units as possible? Can we leave equipment with a Noordhoek team? Can we leave equipment up the line with other teams and then move on? And so this vehicle is designed to do that, is to try and equip as many teams as possible and not just sit confined to one place. And again, the guys from Unipower, he came down for the cycle tour, came and sat with us and said, this is how we do it, guys, this is what we'll do. So they gave us literally 2/3 of what anybody else quoted. And at the end of the day, they even got some of the sponsors to the SEMA, so the signage, the lights, everything, they got that sponsored for us. So it's been a very good process of continual engagement with suppliers, builders, community, to actually say what we've got here is what now we know we really need in the area. The purpose behind this vehicle, although is a lot of specialist equipment. You will see the cutting equipment. On the other side there are the breathing apparatus to be able to cope with structural fires and intense bushfires. All of this lighting plant that we have here is designed so that, unlike many of the other vehicles where you're stuck at a scene, the whole point about this is when you have shack fires behind 4 rows of houses, you can detach equipment and get to the scene. So literally this is, for want of a better word, your one-stop shop for large incidents, and be able to contain things until the professional services arrive. And we all know that sometimes when we have big incidents in the cities, it does take time for the guys to get here because there is so much to cope, and the city can only cope with so much. So it's about empowering our neighborhoods, our communities, right across the South Peninsula, and making sure that we're well equipped and well trained. You'll be seeing a lot more of this vehicle on the road. When you do, come and say hi, come and watch. We really appreciate the support of all of you. Thanks, Colin.
I'm just going to finish now, and I kept this till last because there was one other Rotary Club involved, and that was the Albert Park Rotary Club in Melbourne, Australia, and they put together a raffle, and they sold the raffle tickets, which raised just over 200,000 rand for us. We put the prizes together, and I know there are some people here today, Klaus in particular, who gave us magnificent prizes for the 2 Australian winners who came over in November. So Klaus, Laura, thank you very much for that wonderful prize. Anthea's not here today, she's from Robos Rail. That was the other second big prize. I mean, you all know the price of a ticket on that, and that was donated to us. So I'm again thanking Jenny Howard, and I know she gave her time and a wonderful meal. There's so many people who gave up donations and time. And again, thank you all for coming this morning, and really appreciate it.